as a preamble?
Yes, well, I always interject into the law of the land. That's my perspective I'm coming from, because we have common law, we have customary law, and we have legislative law. We don't have a universal law that governs everybody in our Constitution, unless our Constitution is amended that gives rights to every Sierra Leonean to own land, apart from customary law, because customary law is different in the northern province, customary law is different in the southern province, eastern province. So we have all these three. We have three laws that govern the Constitution of Sierra Leone. I don't know if everybody knows that. We have customary law, we have common law, and we have legislative law. And Boy might be able to expound on this, because he's privy to the Koya Kingdom, which when the colonialists came into Sierra Leone, they leased and bought some land, and they gave it to the freed slaves, which was a colony. And then the protectorate, which is in the provinces, were governed by different laws. So the people in the western area cannot own land in the provinces. So with those in place and with all that, so with all this, I think the Constitution has to be amended before we even talk about land tenure system. That's my perspective.
Okay, I think there are moves afoot, I'm not too sure, to revisit the Constitution, the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone. I think there are plans to revisit it. I don't know which aspects they're going to do. But for now, I just want to bring in Mr. Boyjalo Jamboria.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good day, the audience. I have a different view about this whole land issue, if I am to be honest. My position is that it is not the laws that have problem. It is the application of the laws. I see it as a very safe method if we continue with the land tenure system that we have in the in the provinces, wherein you don't go to the provinces to buy land, you lease the land. That makes it safe for the people, for whoever is coming to do whatever they have to do on those lands. But what I'm looking at is, we have to look at the title to the land. Who owns the land? That has to be amended in whatever land law we have. Next is, who is to serve as executor or trustee of the land? There has to be clear-cut definitions as to the role of that person or persons. There has also to be clear-cut definitions of what and how they have to undertake leasing land to anybody who is not a member of the chiefdom or the community. Also, I am looking at the contracting process, giving cognizance to the fact that there has been recently a lot of hue and cry over certain contracts that have been given out on leaseholds, which are causing problems now for the people. Who is doing this contracting and how are they doing it? What are the legal, what are the social and other considerations that come in when this contracting is being done? Then finally, if I can take from Mr. Coker's points that he raised, in the sense that we have three laws operating in Sierra Leone, the customary law, the common law, and the parliamentary law, what are we going to do and how are we going to do it to synchronize those laws such that there wouldn't be conflicts when it comes to contracting or leasing land? These are the questions I would raise for now, Mr. Chairman. And I think if we continue, maybe we would examine some of these. But as far as I'm concerned, I believe the initial policy that we have is very good for the country and it's very safe. Can we continue, sir, from that point?
Right, okay, yeah. You're talking about the doctrine of land tenure, or the problem we have regarding the laws governing the land is that they are all in disparate, in separate fashions and in different, there are different types of laws governing ownership and distribution of land across the country. So unless we bring all these all these laws, we synchronize them, make them one, we understand them, they become clearer to everybody, and they apply across the board. In other words, we need to bring in the values of fairness and justice for everybody. We are not going to solve this, but that is the key problem. I think we have been able to identify the key problems, the challenges facing the country, and the topic we are discussing, that is the land question. We've been able to identify some of the key challenges we're facing there. In the second segment, we're going to look at the same issues from a different perspective, the opportunities that are available for us as a country. And then in the third segment, we're going to make our concluding remarks. I don't know if anybody wants to make a very short comment or something before we take a break.
Yeah. Let me come in from China. I heard Mr. Jallo Boy Jamburia. He was talking about not having problems with the law per se. But he made some reference or some case studies. He was talking about, for instance, the contractual aspect. When we have, and he did make the point that what is happening from his own point of view appears to be very good. But when you have a system, the gentleman from the UK also spoke about the three different types of laws: the customary aspect, the common law, and the legislative. Now, if here is a system we are in the Western area, for instance, right? You can buy and sell land. And we know in the provinces, when you talk about land ownership, there comes in the relevance of our traditional rulers, the chiefs, the paramount chiefs in our chiefdoms. To an extent, we are even women, right? Women don't have the upper hand, or it's very difficult for them to acquire land. Unlike in the Western area, it all has to do with money. Where the money is, you can be able to acquire a piece of land. So when you have these laws, these different laws, right, in one scenario is different from what is happening in another place. I think that is the challenge. So I cannot overemphasize the very fact the need for us to, maybe as a country, try to synchronize some of these provisions. And I am looking forward to a situation where when we talk about land as it is happening in some countries, state ownership, it plays a crucial role. It's very important because the moment
even Mr. Bemba, it becomes even in the provinces, like you're saying, that the land is not a person's ownership. It's a family ownership.
Yeah, it's the lineage. It's there, the kinship and lineage. Yes, it's their own
family. Property. Nobody owns. Nobody particularly. The person doesn't own land. It's a family land, and you cannot sell it. You see, that's where the confusion comes in, and the fights and all these struggles come in.
Okay, at least we've been able to for this first inning, we've been able to establish the parameters of the debate, and we'll set out the challenges, at least some of the challenges we're facing in terms of the land question in Sierra Leone. So we're going to take a very short break. Listeners, this discussion is coming to you from Voices from the Diaspora, and we've been discussing the topic solving the land question in our nation goes to the very heart of the notion of a new Sierra Leone. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back. Thank you.
Made us a voice of one crying the wilderness. Arise and shine, O Sierra Leone. Flee away from all corruption, destruction, brutalization. For we are the one in God's creation. Big fun and succulent country music and mix.
All is not lost, that we come together. That we build with sweet motherland, Sierra Leoneans. All is not lost, that we come together. That we build with sweet motherland, Sierra Leoneans. Not only fact, go make me better. Pass love, unity, all Sierra Leoneans. Not only fact, go make me better. Pass love, unity, all Sierra Leoneans.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this discussion is coming to you from Voices from the Diaspora, and the topic we're discussing today is solving the land question in our nation. Goes to the very heart of the notion of a new Sierra Leone. This is the second segment we are doing, and we want to look at two key issues here. Are women's right to own land fully protected in Sierra Leone? Mr. Sharif, would you like to throw some light on that?
Yes. I think, most times I like to say it is only a fool that you go to sleep when his house is on fire.
Yeah.
I want to say in a very clear term that no, women's rights are not protected
Very
when
right.
it comes to owning lands. Yes.
Mm.
The legal settings, you want to be tempted to say the legal settings are there. For example, there's the Devolution of Estate Act, which gives equal responsibility to both a man and a woman to own property in the demise of the other partner. But the challenge here is that most of our land system, especially in the provinces, our land tenure systems, are largely governed by customary law practices, and customary law practices are inherently discriminatory against women. So that sets the challenge. Although we are aware that, according to a lot of research and everything, women, in terms of agricultural work, utilize most of the land for subsistence farming. Unfortunately, most of them don't have authority, ownership, or decision over what land they can farm on, where they want to farm, and when they want to farm. The decisions are largely taken by men. And like I said in my introduction, that is why last year around June, a lot of organizations interested in the discussion organized a national conference. And that national conference barely wanted to provoke a debate as to how can we make the laws effective? How can we demystify this whole issue about customary practices being entrenchedly discriminatory against women? So I want to say even our laws are a bit challenging. Although we have the Devolution of Estate Act, but our Constitution still allows discrimination against women for property, because Section 27(4)(1)(d) says women can be discriminated against for marriage, property. And that's the supreme law compared to the Devolution of Estate Act. So that's a challenge. But apart from that, even where we have the Devolution of Estate Act, most of our communities, especially chiefs and the paramount chiefs and the custodians of our customary practices, they do not play by the rules. They use customary practices that would definitely discriminate against women. So to me, I think it's still a challenge. Women still have a long way to go in terms of them having access, in terms of authority over land, especially in the rural settings.
Yeah, Mr. Cocker, do you want to say something regarding?
Yes, it has to do with the traditional system that was established a long time ago, which is paternal, which is a paternal, not a maternal customary law that has been in place for a long time, wherein the descendant is raising from the male, not the female. And that has caused a lot of problem with the modern world now that we live in. and that system still persists even in everywhere in the provinces. It don't matter where you come from, because of that paternal lineage.